Hello, 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 hello. We got Math, the chief is here. I'm sitting next to my BMW here.
Oh, it's a beautiful color. Well, I'm Marcus Allen Frishman, and you're not. Hello, Archie.
Hey, how's it going? What's going on? Talk to me. What's happening? Talk to me. What's happening?
Well, I'm wondering why you've been in your garage for so many days.
I got some potato chips. Potato chips.
What happened? Oh, wait, I have a feedback. Hold on, let me fix that.
Hey, how are you, Luxy?
Hey, I'm okay. How are you?
Oh, Mr. Lux.
Hey, this is our guest from yesterday. How are you going, Luxy?
Good, good. How are you?
The man of mystery. He's here.
This is Math. We had him. You interviewed him last week.
Yes.
The show was so popular, I didn't stop hearing about it. How are things going? Talk to us.
It was a good show, but I don't know that was all about me. The man of mystery contributed to the interest of that show tremendously, and I thank him for that.
Oh, I thank you.
I've had to sell a few watches off, Math, since I spoke to you.
I've been watching you, Archie. I follow you. I watch you silently. I'm there, and I'm amazed.
Some prizes. Yeah, you can stay on today, Luxy. Let's have two of us on here, Luxy.
Okay.
Two against.
So the thing is, I had to sell some things off due to financial, I wanted to free up some cash. You know what I mean?
I saw the breakdown. I saw your expenses, your income, your allocations. You did a wise thing, and you'll make a comeback.
Yeah, look, it is difficult because I liked a lot of the stuff I had there. I like this stuff, but you can't. Sometimes it's good to free up some cash. You really want to free up the cash because it helps you later on. It helps you later on, and it's
so let's be clear, you have no Rolex.
Now these are the ones that were gone. Look at that. Rolex are gone.
Well, all right, so we have 3 left, and I presume you'll never sell the gift, the moon watch. I would never sell that world time.
No, it's a Patek Philippe, Math.
Yes, that Patek Philippe is, you can't sell it. And your new love for Breguet, well, there it is. You got one.
Well, I've got 3 of them. 3. I kept all 3.
Oh, you kept all. Well, they're not in the picture. Okay. I'm not a big fan of that particular brand or model, but that's okay. That's what makes watch collecting so beautiful. We like what we like. We don't like what I buy. A lot of, we've never talked about this. I buy a lot of independents, which you would, I know, probably never consider, but I buy them because I like them. I buy a lot of German watches.
I had to sell them off. That big monster in the back, gold, the JLC gone.
What did you get for that JLC?
I got my money back.
Okay.
Archie
doesn't lose money on any transaction.
Oh no, I lost money on the bluesy.
Oh no, Archie, how could that be? Is it because it's a two-tone? The two-tone tends to be
the gold JLC was 10,600 US. Okay, 10,000.
Yeah.
600. I got out of the Zenith. That wasn't big money, but it allows me to pay some bills and just coast a bit more easier.
I don't own a Zenith, never have, but I like a couple of the models. It's on my short list. The Zenith Delphi. I like the Zenith. I really do. I would like to buy the Overseas Vashon. And I was on the list during the pandemic, and I actually got a phone call from the Beverly Hills store, and I had never done any business with them. And I just randomly put myself on the list when I went to actually buy that watch, and I couldn't buy it. So I put myself on the list. I did a nationwide search, but then I couldn't buy what I wanted. I put myself on the list at the Beverly Hills store. I'd never walked into that store, and I did it remotely. However, I did it. And then 2 years later, which would have been last year, a little longer, maybe about a year and a half ago, I got a call to pick it up. And
which one?
The Overseas.
What color dial?
Oh, this was stainless steel, and I'm forgetting. Well, I don't know I don't know the color. I know the color I wanted. I don't know what it was. I called
the
back.
Blue is the hardest to get.
Well, well, the blue's the one I wanted. I called back, and they had sold it. They had, I believe, I got a text message, and then I called within a day, and she said, "Well, we moved on to the next person on the list." Whatever.
Don't worry. They're kind of fallen a bit since then.
Yeah, no, they've fallen a lot. And I have a source for pre-owned watches. I haven't bought a lot of pre-owned watches, Archie, and I know you advocate that. I bought a few. But when I buy a pre-owned watch, I like it to be not worn, not like new, but new. And there are circumstances for which you can get luxury watches that are pre-owned but new. And I have bought, I believe, 3 of those. And I have a source, and he's called the OC, meaning Orange County, Rolex guy. And he has a brick and mortar, but I've known the man so long. He didn't have a brick and mortar in the old days. He has national prominence in America. He's highly recommended. He has a website called the OC Rolex guy. And he has a beautiful brick and mortar right on the beach, in fact, in Southern California. I'm forgetting the city, maybe Laguna Beach. And his name's Patrick. He's the owner, and I highly recommend him for pre-owned watches. But he hasn't had an Overseas in a while either. You know, Archie, I want to ask you a question about a watch. So I had thought of a trend. I've only done a couple of trades because I accumulate watches and I'm not a seller, but I've done a couple of trades. And I thought about a trade recently, and I contacted Patrick, the Orange County Rolex guy. And I said, "Patrick, I see a brand new Pepsi Rolex on your site for $22,000. And I think that price is a bit high, but I see it there. It's in perfect condition. It's brand new. It's not like new. It's brand new. And I also see the watch I own, the gold, 18 karat gold Submariner, the Bluesy. You're selling it for $27,000, which is also, I think, a bit high for that year in that model. His is a few years newer, but it is the same model. And it is pre-owned in good condition, very excellent condition. So I said to him, "Look, what would you think about me trading my 18 karat gold Submariner for the
18K? Say it again. 18K.
18K gold Bluesy, you know, the one I have.
Yep.
Trading for a brand new model, never worn, current model of the Rolex Submariner Pepsi.
The GMT Pepsi, not a Submariner.
Yes, and get a little bit of money out of it to me in that trade. I proposed it, and then I told a few of my friends who are quiet collectors, and they said, "You are crazy. Why would you spend so much money on the Pepsi and give up an 18 karat gold Submariner And I just said, because, I can't wear that Submariner in public in Los Angeles without risk of life, limb, and
Oh, we've got a super chat's just come in here. Mac Lobster, $5. Math, would a gentleman employ hair dye? I need to up my eyebrow game.
well,
what's your view on hair dye? See, I don't think it's terrible.
No, it's a good thing. When I was in college, I would swim a lot. My hair would discolor. It's still a factor because I'm in the sun. I get a lot of sun, a lot of swimming. I do it daily, weekly. So I have been dyeing my hair since college. Now, okay, now every now and then, just for my entertainment, I stop dyeing. I don't do professional dye, so they don't last 3 to 6 months. They last about 30 days, maybe 60 days. And because of the product, the nature of the product. So I dye the hair in the light brown, but every now and then, and I did it recently a few months ago, I stop it to see what my hair looks like naturally. And it turns out in the last couple of years only, I have a little graying here, and I don't dye the eyebrows at all. I have a little graying here, and I have a few, but I say graying, that's more white. I have a few whites here, a few whites here. So my hair color really has maintained. And for the few whites that I have in my massive eyebrows, which I told you when I became a professional model, they made me shave because I have one eyebrow. I actually clip the white hair that's popping out. I think white is far more pleasing to look at than gray hair. I will never be gray, but one day I might be white. But back to my question: would you, forget the financial component here? Would you, presuming it's just whatever, it's a reasonable, presuming both it's reasonable to buy and reasonable to trade in finances, would you ever do that? Would you ever trade the Bluesy or the Pepsi?
They're two different animals. I can see why you do it. I can understand, right? It's actually not that terrible. But you know what? If I were you, I would probably just keep what you got. Okay.
Yeah, that's the consensus from every person, including the guy that I made the offer to, OC Rolex guy. Why would you want to do that? Was his comment.
Well, but they're different sort of things. You got to remember too that Pepsi is very much wanted.
Well, yeah, I've been trying to look. I've bought 5 Rolexes from a place called it's in Calabasas, and I bought 5 Rolexes from them. Maybe I shouldn't say their name, but the point is, I can't get a Pepsi out of them. So
yeah, no, the Pepsi is a very, very hot watch. But it's a bit of a hype watch. You do realize that, don't you? It is hype.
I liked it before.
It's hype, baby.
Yeah, but here's the story. I liked it before it was hype, Archie, and I never bought it. It just was on the list. Then it becomes hyped, and I go, "Oh my God, I gotta have it! I gotta have the most sought-off watch, Rolex in the world. I have to have it. It has huge snob appeal. I gotta have it."
Yeah, I get you. I see what you're saying there. The only thing is there, I will say, I'll show you. I really do think for you there is better watches there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe so.
Besides,
I had a little watch check today. I'm wearing the James Cameron Rolex Deep Sea Submariner. It's probably one of my newest watches. It's only.
I want to play something for you. Okay. I think something so much better than that would be this watch. Have a look at this. We're just going to share the screen. Have a look at this. This is what I think you should get. Look at this.
I like the commercial. I wonder if they'll show the watch. You become a Breguet man.
Look at that. There you go. That's you, Breguet.
It is beautiful.
I think that's what I would get if I were you.
I love the bezel. I love that bezel.
And I've also got some more videos to show you, if you don't mind. I wanted to show you a few things. This is just for you. So we answered the thing on it's perfectly okay
How much
to
is
use
that
hair
one?
dye. However, would you ever consider, I see it's not okay to have hair transplant, is it? Or wear a rug. That's definitely not cool, is it?
Well, I wouldn't do either, but there are many.
You don't need to. You don't need to do either.
No,
That's the thing.
Yeah, no. Well, so I don't know what I would do if I needed to do that.
But your personality is so strong, you would never need to do that. I wanted to show you some things here. Have a look at this.
Today, guys, I just want
show you some
I've been doing some reviews on
Yeah.
Lux together for you guys.
This is my watch box.
So let's have a look, which I recently sold to a fan. But doing a bit of damage, the biggest canvas.
Look at that.
And it's got the scrumptious and
have a look at there.
Women from these countries, Japan. Now, as me to go with the other AC3.
AC3, look at that. You like
open her up.
That's
a box with a pink interior. And that's actually where the original came from. That was the Japanese doll that they used to draw on the box. Doesn't have a spring in the back. Partly from Vintage Watch, the brand new, and that is overpriced. I think, guys. Archie.
So that's the boxes. And I was just going to show you too. This was a great video I put together to highlight some of the core collection. There you go. Have a look.
Hey guys, it's Archie Luxury into burglary in 20, as well as
Just have a look
collection,
here.
of course.
This is the centerpiece. That's the
I gotta
paddock.
thank Dave, the super collector, for.
This is the paddock. Math. That's the paddock.
Gorgeous paddock. I don't.
And I sure that's the watch. So let's look at that there. Look at that. That is just superb. Look at that, Math. Is that just
white gold? Correct.
White gold, yeah, white gold there.
Gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous there. You know, you're right. I took your advice there. Don't sell the paddock. Look at that. How could you sell? Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful?
Because you'll never get it again. It's something.
Well, I'll never say never, but
it's unlikely. I mean, we can always pick up another Submariner, an Explorer. Yeah, that is very special on so many levels. The complications, the brand.
This is my other watch I wanted to keep was this Breguet here.
You did keep that.
Sorry?
You kept it?
Yeah, I've got all three Breguets there. Look at this. Look at that, Math.
Let me ask you a question, Archie, about the Breguet.
Yes.
For years, you never talked about a Breguet, and then suddenly.
Oh, I've had a Breguet. I've owned a Breguet for over 10 years. I had a steel chronograph. I did have one. Yes. Look at this. I had a steel. I've had a number of them, actually. I've had a number of them. They're beautiful.
You had one consistently for a decade?
I've had some Type 20s. Yeah, I've got old videos, and this is the enamel dial one. Look at this. Look at this. It's just so beautifully.
Perfect for
Look
a
at that, just
tuxedo. Yeah,
coin
perfect.
edging.
That's your tuxedo watch.
Tuxedo watch.
What about this 21 that you had? Can we see a picture of it?
Oh, I can show you some video of it. Look, it's coming up now. This is this sports. Look at this. There we go. There we go. Look at that. How could you not love that? Look at
That
that.
is gorgeous. That is gorgeous.
Math. Secondhand, you can pick these up 10,000 US dollars.
Oh my God, that low?
Yeah, they're a bargain. I mean, I'm all about the bang per buck. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. You can't pick up aftermarket gold watches for under 6,000 or 9,000. I mean, you just
And Reggae is such a strong brand. You know what I mean? It's a well-known brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean random brands, gold watches in LA. I'm seeing them. They're between 6,000 and
Look at
9,000.
that coin edging on it there.
Gorgeous. Archie, what's the model number? What do they call that?
That's a 3810, 3810.
Was that rose gold or yellow gold?
That's rose gold. Rose gold.
That's why it looks so beautiful. Oh, rose gold is so beautiful. There are some people that just don't like rose gold for some reason, but I think it's magnificently more beautiful than yellow gold, even 18 karat yellow gold. It's stronger too. 18 karat is very soft and gets all dinged up.
Yep. Yep. No, you're right there. It's very, very true. Very true.
Normally, I don't look at the comments until after the show, as I've said several times. There's a there's a gentleman here that said Marcus found out he's not the sheriff. I have no idea what that means. What does that mean?
Ha ha. That's exactly it.
What the hell does that mean exactly? There's some sort of hidden vernacular language going on. And Mr. Man of Mystery, he's silent today.
Yes, yes.
We want to hear something.
Yeah, I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk a bit there, Luxie. Have a
I don't know if my questions might be a bit heavy though. That's
let's go to heavy. Let's go to heavy.
I was doing some research on the Marwan the Marwan bounty, the Marwan situation in the Philippines.
Yes.
And it turns out that the body was not able to be recovered, and they cut off his finger.
Yes.
To use as evidence and DNA checks.
Sent it to LA FBI office. It took them till September after the kill to identify it.
So here's my question. As there's no body, there is rumors, even to this day, that he's still alive.
I have never heard that rumor. I sat through and read everything, although I haven't read some of the current stuff. So maybe, obviously, you did. There's rumors. There's now movies. There's YouTube movies about it. I haven't seen any of those. Just so you know, I haven't watched them. So
there's also a video game. Have you heard about the video game?
No,
there's a video game where he's still alive, and he blows up a train.
His brother is in California in jail. At least he was in jail. I don't know the current status.
Can I play a quick clip?
Yeah,
Archie?
as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
How do I do this? All right, here we go.
The Philippine military confirms senior Jamaat Islamiyah or JI leader Zulkifli bin Hir, better known as Marwan, is alive. In February 2012, the military claimed 3 terrorists died when 2 OV-10 Broncos dropped their bombs on an Abu Sayyaf hideout in Lanao, Bato, Sulu. Abu Sayyaf leader Umra Jumdail, known as Dr. Abu, Singaporean Muhammad Ali, known as Muawiyah, and the Malaysian Marwan. Marwan was reportedly working with a dozen remaining JI members in the Philippines. Intelligence Chief Major General Eduardo Año says Marwan was last seen in Cotabato in the southern Philippines. It was the first time the military confirmed Marwan is alive after a military spokesman categorically claimed he had been killed. 2 years ago, in 2012, Rappler reported Marwan escaped the airstrike that targeted JI leaders. Año confirms there was no concrete evidence showing Marwan was killed during the military offensive. Año says, quote, "We cannot declare he's dead, but there are a lot of indications that he is still alive."
Well, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. First of all, I didn't catch the date of that. There were two. After I provided the source information, then the U.S. State Department, I say State Department, it was under a diplomatic cover of CIA. They turned the information over. I say they, the United States government, turned the information over to the Philippine National Police. There's a close relationship directly with them. The president of the Philippines at the time denied he knew that the battle had ensued or that it was even going to be ensued. So this battle that occurred was the third battle. They've had two previous battles after I provided the information, and years had passed, multiple years, two battles. They killed him on the third. They clipped his finger, handed it to the, well, I don't know who clipped the finger, but it got in possession of the two American advisors that were on site at the kill. And then that finger got transported to the Los Angeles FBI, just because that's where they have a DNA facility that's closest to the Philippines. And it took them till September, getting the dates, February. I think they killed him just before February, March, April, May, June, a long time. And then they made an announcement that it was, in fact, Marwan by DNA testing. Also, you have to remember the precursor. I gave the location, and then at the very moment, I say moment, it could have been hours or a day or two of the attack, there was another source that said Marwan is here now. Another source that gave a precision location at the location that I had provided, matched up. And this source was a Marwan colleague, let's say. That source has never gone public. And then they attacked Marwan, and all 44 of the Philippine police died, killing Marwan. And they call it the Fallen 44.
But is there any evidence of him being killed other than the finger?
Just you have a good point.
Because cutting someone's finger off doesn't mean they're dead.
You have a very good point. But this was I can't answer that question with accuracy that would please anybody. But I'm sure this allegation doesn't pass the smell test. Plus, in the Philippines, they love gossip. They love scams. Scams emanate from the Philippines. The United Nations has a list of the most likely scamming emanating from what country. Philippines is number 2. Nigeria is number 1. Both of them stay at the top of the list for decades. I don't know how often that list is renewed, but the United States State Department puts out the same type of list periodically. They also name the Philippines number 2 for scams. This is maybe just another one of those scams. Also, there would not be a bounty on my head. Let's go to that. So the MLIF was in control of his movements. Moro Islamic Liberation Front. If I mispronounce things, forgive me. I was approached by one of their friends, who was one of my friends. We'll call him General Ray. He was not a general. He was a lieutenant colonel of the Philippine military, former at the time. And he provided the precise location for the target, Marwan, meaning the city. It begins with an M, Mesopotamia, Massa something or other. I forget the name of the city. But
Malawi?
Well, I have it written down somewhere. I have to look it up, but it's a complicated pronunciation. It begins with an M. So what happened was it took them years to kill Marwan. But what happened was when Marwan was killed and when it was exposed, because I went public with some of the details, the MLIF got really mad. His name was Boy Hashimi. And Boy, the commander, disavowed me publicly. He disavowed knowing Frishman, providing any information, because what was the scandal back then down in the South? It was that he personally signed a document, provided directly to me, an original. I have it in this room right here with me.
Yeah.
I also have it digitally next to me.
Can we see it?
Sure. Let me get it.
Hey, look at this, Arch. Hot stuff.
Yes. Hot stuff. Look at that.
Hot stuff, baby.
Stand by.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here on the Marcus Allen Frishman live stream show with your guests, Archie Luxury, the LUXURIA, and Alan Frishman.
Yeah, here it is. I got it. Stand by. I can't believe I found it this fast, but I have a giant pile in a file that, of course, is labeled.
Oh, top secret.
But
we can't see it.
We don't want to blast that around. Why is it?
We can't see it.
I can't get rid of this background. The background is indicating no background, yet it shows up. It's some sort of anomaly. Let's put this file down here. So I have more than what I'm about to explain to you. I have several documents. So when I was approached by General Ray of the former Philippine military, and a gentleman named Ram, who I believed was CIA, living at the Etza Shangri-La Hotel where I lived for 5 years. He was on his missions. I was on a mission for the California government related to investment. We all met up. And at some point, my handlers said to me, Marcus, you've got to get a letter, a documentation. A letter, I thought. Sure. He said, you're watching too many James. I remember his line. You watch too many James Bond movies. You need to get a letter. That's how we do it. All right.
Some documents.
So I put this silly request to get a letter to General Ray, and he said, as quickly as he could do it, he said, oh yeah, no problem. He didn't question it like I did. And then what was produced was a letter. I'm going to show it to you. But it's more than a letter. I didn't know what it was until I reported to the media years later and showed it to a Philippine media that put me front page in the Philippines on television every night. And the media, the first contact of the media, said to me, the Philippine Star reporter, she said, Marcus, that's forgive me again for remembering precisely the certificate. I have to read, you don't have to read my memos. Certificate of transport. In other words, it's a document that Marwan would actually use to be able to move around in the South Philippines without having trouble.
Yeah.
And
it's a freedom pass.
Yes. Yeah, well, you know something about this. So I get the document, and of course, I get an original, and I'm thinking they want the original, and we need DNA testing on the. And they weren't interested in any of that. They just said fax it. So I did. Here's the original fax. Jesus, I wish I could get rid of this bag. Here is the original fax. So this is the Etza Shangri-La fax from me to the State Department at the it's actually the Bureau of Diplomatic Security is the cover at the embassy, and the document actually has in writing, it has me saying, let me read it. I have a little note on here. Hope this is real. Hope this is, because I'm questioning the whole nonsense at this point. There's my business card attached to it. You can see my card with the Philippine and American flag that the American ambassador once had a funny thing to say about it. That's another story I may have told. These are my notes of the cover, and this is the cover sheet, and there it goes to the numbers below. The document this is a copy. I do have the original, but I'm holding up a copy. The original has color to it. This one does not. This is the certificate signed by Boy. Let me get his pronunciation right. Boy Hashim, Commander Boy Hashim, Chairman, Military Advisory Council, MILF, Central Command. Now, this is the document that when I hand this to my handlers, because I'm just a mere asset, I'm an agent asset, and I hand it to my handlers, and they're familiar with this, that they don't tell me what it all means. What it does is, if you can't read it, what it does, it describes where Marwan, well, here, to whom it may concern, this is to certify that Jekaplan bin Hur, also known as Marwan, a Malaysian national from Johor, Malaysia, was presently staying at the vicinity of Camp blah, blah, blah. And here's the city that I was referring to. I'm going to spell it. Maguindanno. That is where I told them he would be. Subject now with his family, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's a description, and it's a right. Now I remember what the reporter called it. A rite of passage document. I should write that.
Yes,
down.
Freedom Pass.
All right, rite of passage. Now, I have a third document attached to my 3-page. I wonder what this is. Oh, this is my first point of contact to the United States government, where I say, this is the email from me to them and their response. I'll paraphrase. I tell them that I control the direct movements of Marwan. Essentially, I do. That's what I am told, that essentially I control his direct movements indirectly. So that's the language I use to get some attention, but it is true. And in the end, I proposed, so the project, let me look at this. I'm writing a letter about this to someone, as you may know, but the project is actually called Oplin Exodus. Oplin Exodus is the official code name of the project.
Yeah, Operation Exodus.
Right. I had a different code name, which I won't say on here, for my project to have Marwan surrender with the cooperation of Boy Hashimi and his team without a shot being fired. I was admonished by the State Department, my handlers, which were CIA diplomatic cover, and I didn't do it. Despite the fact I had funding, I had an investor, I had an entity. I thought it'd be a lot of fun. I'd film the whole thing. I thought it'd be fun, but it was a little out of my, let's just say, my job description. Now, I'm going to end with this. The MLIF, Boy Hashimi, denied when this went public, when this document goes public, there wasn't an actual visual that went public. They talked about the document I had. That went public. When that went public, Boy Hashimi denied knowing anything about that document, me or Marwan or anyone else. And then I got a phone call from General Ray, who said, "What the hell did you do?" I said, "I went public. And last night, Mr. Ray, I gave you the right to veto it. I told you I was going to meet with the newspaper at the direction of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. I was directed to meet the press before I went in to meet the Congress. And that's what I did. And I gave you the opportunity to talk me out of it, and you didn't." And he said, "I guess I wasn't paying attention." Well, great. So you've really blown things up. They're really mad, meaning Boy and the MILF. So here's what I did. It was ingenious. I wrote, that I can't access as quickly, but it's a better read, I assure you. I wrote, as I recall, it had 8 or 9 points to it. It was a memo to the MILF. And the memo gave 8 or 9 reasons, 10 reasons, whatever the number was, bullet point reasons why even I believe Boy may not have ever signed this document.
Mm-hmm.
It gave them a way out. It let Boy hold it up and say, "Look, even Frishman says I may not have signed it." I should tell you that when I handed this document to my handlers, they said they're going to have it verified. And then later I asked, 3 days later, they told me, your document was verified as true and correct. I said, how did you do that? They said, we handed it to someone who handed it to someone. These are all CIA connected people who went into the camp, met with Boy and said, did you sign this? And Boy said, yep, I signed it. And then it came back with the verification that we needed to know it was true. That's what CIA indicated to me. I went public with that. So later, I was attributed by the MLIF. I got a phone call. I don't know who it was. They identified themselves as an MLIF representative, and they believed that because of what we had done, we had assisted them in their peace treaty with the Philippine government, which they were seeking. They wanted to be taken off the international terrorist list, which is bad. They wanted to be called a domestic terrorist, which is a rebel group. And that changes your classification all over the world and with America and with the Philippines. And then they wanted a peace treaty, and they got it. And after they did this, the BIFF, which is a splinter group, develops. It's called the Islamic Freedom Fighters, the best I'm reading it here. Bag Zamaro Islamic Freedom Fighters. They are the ones, along with Al Qaeda, that put a fresh bounty on my head in 2019. And I can play that information that comes from a consultant to a senator in the Philippines, and that man is the son of the longest serving ombudsman. And in the Philippines, the ombudsman is equivalent to the American Attorney General, the highest law enforcement official in the country. His son, who lives frequently in my condo because he sold his Philippine condo, and he's an Australian, Robert LaRue Deschento, he leaves me the message.
All right, let's play it.
Okay, never mind.
It's like exciting stuff, Archie.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Siri, can you open recordings? Siri, open recordings.
You need to unlock your iPad first.
God almighty. Hold on, let me just see what the...
Don't you love technology?
What does the recording app look like? I haven't opened it recently.
Voice memos, maybe.
Yeah, voice memos. Siri, can you open voice memos? Siri.
You need to...
Oh, Jesus. All right, hold on a second. I just have to find it. Voice memos. Where the hell are you?
Or voice recordings. Recordings.
iPad first.
I don't need to unlock the iPad. I'm looking at my phone. Okay, let's just do it slowly. Let me go through it because I'd used it recently to record a meeting. So I know it's here. Let's just relax and look at it.
Okay.
I feel like I'm watching my granddad trying to use technology.
No, I'm highly technological. I don't use my iPhone much, and it is on the iPhone. I use my iPad for everything, and it's not on the iPad. Okay, let's take a look. Bank of America. Boy, oh boy. I don't know what the app looks like. God almighty, there are too many apps. Give me a minute. Why don't
I think it should be in the folder or the section where you have calculator.
Okay, there's the calculator. Let me just, I wasn't looking at it. Oh yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there we go.
I think I have it. Stand by.
Yeah, I can see your phone. I can see what folder it's in. I'm logged into your phone as well.
Oh, it's good to know. All right, let's see. It's one of, it must be one of the, there's just a few of these. Stand by. Let's see what this is.
Oh, I love your dog, by the way. Your dog is beautiful.
Isn't my dog? He's like a movie star. Look. Oh wait, this is the list of devices. This is not correct. Hold on. Okay, let me click that. You're right. Okay, there it is. Voice memo. Sorry, I was in the bigger section. There it is. Okay, voice. I believe it's can't be love. It's got to be. Let's go back. Eastwood.
Oh, we got to play the love one.
We only have the love is a person's name. Okay. New recording. New recording. Let's just take a. Oh, that's an hour recording. That's okay. That's at that point. Okay. So now I'm bouncing all over the section. I'm glad you're waiting. Stand by.
That's okay. No worries. All good. All good.
I just. Don't know
Guys,
why.
if you got any questions you'd like to ask Mr. Frishman,
Okay.
you're welcome to send a super chat and we will read out your questions.
I think it's this one. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Here it is. Okay. All right. Here it is. I don't know where my microphone is exactly on my giant.
We can hear it in the background. We could hear
Here we
it.
go. Here we go. So what's I'm looking at a screen that makes no sense, but I can't hear you. What's that noise?
I don't know what that noise is. Maybe it's on the recording.
Archie? No, the recording is off. Archie, are you playing something with noise?
No. What happened?
All right. So this is the son of the longest-serving ombudsman in the Philippines, with the last name of Dusciento. The ombudsman is like the attorney general, except they exclusively investigate corruption of the Philippines. They arrest all the elected officials and put them in jail, and that's what the ombudsman does. It's a strange name for a different kind of purpose. Anyway, his son is my dear friend. His son is a consultant and was a consultant to a senator in the South Philippines who did not know that this gentleman knew me. He didn't know there was a connection. But in a meeting, my name comes up, that there is a bounty on my head, and Robert calls me to warn me, and then I had him repeat it so I could tape it.
Okay, listen. Okay, I'm gonna give you the news, okay? I met with
I'm sorry,
yesterday.
you're breaking up.
Okay.
Speak clearly.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I met with a senatorial candidate yesterday from Mindanao. Okay? I can't give you his name because he wanted help with his campaign.
Wait, Robert, hold on. It's not.
But can you hear me?
Okay. I fixed it. Start now. It's just distracting. Start over. Go ahead.
Okay, I had a meeting yesterday, all right, with a senatorial candidate from Mindanao. Okay, because they want help with the online campaign.
Sure, the stuff you're doing. Yeah.
And then our conversation, we're talking about Mindanao.
Saw that
A couple of places, people getting killed, right?
a couple of days ago, actually.
And then we got talking about Marwan. Okay?
Yeah.
And then he mentioned the people who were involved, and would you believe it, including your name. He said Frishman.
Yeah.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what he said to me is that Frishman is a target because the guys over there are pissed.
They're talking about the BIF,
Okay.
not the MLIF, because the MLIF called me to congratulate.
I don't know who it is.
Okay.
He knows his stuff. He's from there, right? And what's happening here at the moment? There's bombings and they increase the security in Manila.
Gotcha.
Okay. So what he said to me, because we were talking, and I wanted to find out more. I didn't say that we knew each other. Okay. I just wanted to find out more. And he mentioned your name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And he said, and I said, how do you know this guy? Like, everything, blah, blah. He goes, well, they have a profile of him because he's got all this information about him online and public.
Yeah.
They know that you were in the Senate. They know. Okay.
They know my background because I'm a public figure both in the Philippines and in America. Yeah. At some low level.
Doesn't matter. They even know that you have a girlfriend here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll leave it up to you. You're gonna come here. So I don't know if you or me. There's a lot of shooting here because of the election. Okay, if it were me, I would delay it for a few months to let it blow over. Because at the moment, it's I think the situation here, the security is intense. You do know that I'm aware of something I won't reveal here of this general threat was conveyed to me by the senior foreign relations advisor to the former speaker, who has a new position now, and he was officially sent to meet with me from the Senate, from the House.
or the Senate. Now I'm having trouble who I mean, but I know who he is. He's a longtime friend, and he was in the room, and he conveyed the exact same thing with more specificity. Also, I've had actual threats to the point that Facebook shut my Facebook, and we reopened it with the Facebook's ability to block certain countries. Also, my Facebook cannot be found on any internet website.
Well, I think we'll turn that off. It's just too much stuff. But there is this active attempt to be focused on it. And it's the I said BIF. It's the BI. I look it up. The BIFF. There's a subsidiary group that didn't want a peace treaty with the national government of the Philippines, didn't want to give up Marwan, didn't want to give up the other terrorists pre-Marwan, and didn't want any of this going on. So there's battles amongst them all, in the South Philippines.
See, do you not worry when you go back to the Philippines? Do you have a security team that help you or anything like that?
I have always, for multiple years, had many physical bodyguards, and now I've reduced that, let's just say, but I take other types of precautions, and I do.
Who funds the bodyguards?
What's that?
Who is funding the bodyguards?
I fund the bodyguards.
Okay.
I didn't used to, but now I do. But it's I operate in the Philippines very differently than I did. It's very low profile type stuff now. I just move around in a low profile way, and I'm very safe in the Philippines. Although it is enhanced there, obviously. But you can't control things. You can only react to them. You can't.
Hey guys, I just want to bring up something quickly there. Someone said to me, there's been a few comments there. Sonny said, why is Archie in the garage? I want to show you something. Do you know what? Okay. I want to show you guys something. Do you know what? If it wasn't for women, did you know how most guys would live? Can I show you this photo? I found this on Facebook, and I wanted to share this with you.
Yeah, we would live in a one-room empty unit.
There we go. That's if it wasn't for women, that's how we'd live. Blue BMW, a bed, a table, a computer. That would be perfectly okay.
When I was on TikTok, I did a video that got hundreds of thousands of views, and it was titled, "A Woman Tames a Man and Creates a Gentleman." Whether that's your mother, your girlfriend, most women have that capability.
Now, Luxie, I've got to shoot off there. I got to tell you, Math, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Show's almost over.
Yeah. Yes, we've got 7 minutes to go there. Luxie, Math is a very important guy in the Philippines. And you've probably done more single-handedly to change the course of the Philippines than any other American.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but we can give a hook to the next show where I can tell you that the Speaker of the House of Representatives turns to the American ambassador when he's calling me up to be introduced in the lobby. I'm having breakfast. This ambassador is being kicked out of his house because of a bad meeting. And I can even tell you what that's about. And the ambassador, the Speaker of the House of Representatives says to the American ambassador, as he says, Marcus, come up here, meet the ambassador. I shake his hand. I hand him my card with 2 flags, the American and the Philippine flag. And I say, Mr. Ambassador, maybe you should put both flags on your card. But that was the punchline. What was said to him was, Mr. Ambassador, I want you to meet Marcus Frishman, the real ambassador from America, and the only ambassador who has done anything to help the Philippine people, the only ambassador who cares about the Philippine people. 3 components. I'll never forget it. I was embarrassed, hand him my card, and then joked he should put a Philippine flag on his card and maybe he would get accolades like that. And he laughed and left. That was long before the Marwan incident. And there was a reason why the speaker did that. I'll tell you the story of why he liked me, and I'll tell you the story of why they had problems with America and the ambassador both components led to that.
Thank you so much for coming on there. I got to leave there, Luxy. It's been a
Hey,
great
wrap it
show.
up.
Thank you so much for coming. Unfortunately, only one super chat today.
Why is
It's been a
that?
tough day. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Next week.
On.
Thank you, Luxy.
All right, thank you.
And this is how this was on Facebook. This is, if it wasn't for women, this is how guys would live. I think that's so true. Look at that. Beamer,
It's a real
double
point.
bed. What more do you need? What more do you need? What more do you need?
I don't see a TV in there, but you know, I'm a TV. You know,
It's what more do you need in life, Luxy? Look at that, hey?
Hey, I don't see any flashlights on the bed.
No, it's the way to lead things. Okay, guys, we will be back. See you next week there. Thank you so much.
bye, guys.